Welcome to
the Plant-Based Podcast.
In case you didn't know already, plants are amazing. You can
eat them,
wear them,
drink them,
nourish your skin with them,
grow them,
love them,
and be inspired by them. So why not join us on the Plant-Based Podcast as we speak to the movers, shakers, and growers in this amazing plant world. Hiya.
Hi, Merry Christmas, Michael.
Hiya. Thank you, Merry Christmas to you too. Oh God, is it over yet?
So today is our Christmas mashup special episode, and both of us are basically Grinches, but we're going to do our very, very best to talk about Christmas and bring a little bit of festive cheer to the podcast.
Ellen, I just wish Christmas was more optional. There's so much pressure to do it. It's like, I'll do Christmas in my own good time. I might do it in April.
Yeah, why not have Christmas in July when it's sunny? You can have a barbecue outside. You know, Christmas is different for different people, and I guess this year Christmas is very different, which is why we're going to bring a little bit of festivity to the podcast, isn't it? Hey?
Absolutely. What have we got coming up, Ellen?
Coming up, we've got Christmas tree confessions. We're going to do a review of 2020, and that includes ours and our listeners' tips and suggestions, and that they've given us online on socials as well.
Oh,
and then you've got a great interview, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got an interview with a poinsettia grower to give us a little bit of history about the poinsettia, but also some little tips and tricks to get the best out of your poinsettia. And then you're going to help us with trees. Is that right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're presenting a morning show.
We should have taken over from Ruth and Eamon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, well, and Christmas tree tips, how to pick your Christmas tree, how to care for your Christmas tree, and
Christmas tree tips.
No, I said tips. Don't get rude. And what to do with your Christmas tree after Christmas and the baubles have come off as well. And then after that, we're also going to have a little bit of a gossip and talk about New Year's resolutions as well. So it is full on Christmas.
I know. It's amazing. I guess it's prudent to review 2020 first, though.
I think so. Yeah.
And do you know what? There's good and bad. I think, there's too much chatter about 2020 being a disaster year, but actually, even though a lot of bad has happened, there's some really positive new developments and experiences that kind of came through. And so it's not been all bad. But yeah, it's weird to think back to that time in March when we were at Garden Press event and everything was in real life, and then since then it hasn't been. So weird.
I can remember. I can remember that very day walking around, and less people had come to the press event, and I think that's probably when I very first thought, oh, this is obviously a bigger deal than I'd thought of. It might, I just hadn't maybe kind of tallied up what was going on quite right. And then a couple of people had come over and elbow bumped me to say hello, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm like a hugger. So this is odd. And it's when it really kicked off, and that really is the last time we've been with all of our gardening buddies and contacts and stuff. So yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? What a weird year, but we're going to focus purely on the positives.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what did you enjoy then?
What have I enjoyed? Well, do you know what? Quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's been the obvious Zoom downfalls, but also the great thing about being able to meet and chat and learn online with people across the world that you wouldn't have done before. And that's been really cool.
Yeah, I've attended, as it were, a couple of talks, that you'd have to travel to attend that talk previously. So and there was never this option before. Nobody really saw the value of online before, which is so crazy that it took this to kind of push that through, really. And I've held quite a few different like masterclasses and kind of like lectures, demos, which have been really fun. And you've again had the potential for more people to be involved and from further afield as well, which is quite cool. So, yeah. And the other thing, like, we've had a lot more time, which has kind of been quite cool. But I miss the days when I was kind of chasing my tail a bit.
Yeah.
It's like now you can pace yourself easily from one job to the next. And I'm not sure what I prefer. I'm quite looking forward to when I would be chasing my tail again. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I work better under pressure. I've definitely learned that.
Same. It's adrenaline.
Yeah, like the adrenaline, and I love being around people and seeing things, and that's where creativity comes in, like, you know, where ideas are born from, you know, having that kind of interaction with people and stuff and gardens and going to garden shows and all those kind of things. So I've hugely missed that, but it has given me time out to think. And I can actually remember, not last year, the year before, when I was doing the Norfolk show, and then we had all the shows and we had loads of stuff going on, and it was so busy. I can actually remember thinking, I actually wish it would all stop. I wish it would just all stop, because this is too much. Like, I can't, it's just so much. And then it stopped, and now I'm like, I want it all back again.
It's so bizarre, isn't it?
But having that little bit of time out, just to think and like have a bit of a plan about what you might want to do, you know, is actually quite precious. So a little bit of time has been good, but I'd just like a little added pressure in there.
And to interact with nature as well. And it's quite heartening to see so many people like going for walks that wouldn't have been going for walks previously. It was so nice, and like families. It's to be honest, when you go around the local neighbourhood, it looks like Christmas Day every day. Because like with Christmas Day, you kind of then going for a walk with your family, aren't you? And kind of, but people are doing that every single day now, which is really kind of cute and funny.
It's kind of forced though, isn't it? Because it's like people are homeschooling, working from home. It's like, we have got to get out of this house. We have
forced,
to go
but
out.
That doesn't make it a bad thing.
No, I mean, hopefully people will carry on doing that. You know, they've realised that, you know, the natural world is so important to well-being, and we'll get out and enjoy that more. I've seen people who said, wow, I found this woodland round the back of our house. We've lived here for like 20 years and never even knew this woodland existed. And it's like, you know, well, that's really cool that you found it now, you know, keep going. And the gardening industry, horticulture, has obviously had a good year. I mean, it was a rocky start, but ultimately, you know, people have started to garden and grow their own food, and so positive.
Sorry, I was distracted, Ellen. There's a guy, I think one of the neighbours from down the road, like putting Christmas cards in different doors, and he took about a minute to put the card through the door over the road, and I'm like thinking, is that a really tight letterbox, or is there a dog wrestling in the other side? I was like, what's going on there? Or maybe he was casing it so he can burgle later or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
Gosh. Hey, did he?
You know,
did he?
It would be the best thing if you were a burglar to actually burgle the houses on your doorstep, because no one would suspect you. Think about it.
You've just told everyone out there how to burgle. Are you a burglar?
I'm not sure everyone's up for it. Don't worry.
Did he put a card through your door?
No, he didn't. But then I'm not really into Christmas cards, so I don't want the kind of hassle of having to give one back.
You're not so popular, really, are you? Huh?
Anyway, I really I've ruined your segue, or chance of a segue. Sorry.
I've forgotten already now.
You were talking about wonderful nature, 2020, la 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 la. Because I actually put a post on social media, I think it was yesterday, and I kind of acknowledged, you know, I'll read it out to you, Ellen Mary. So It goes, at Mr. Plunkey, 2020 isn't all bad. The number of online lectures and small events is really quite cool and was never done previously. I'm loving it. What have you enjoyed in 2020? And we got a few follower comments, haven't we? So we're going to run through some of those from my Twitter and just see what other people enjoyed. So
there's some really cool ones there. I think it's really nice to see what other people have enjoyed, you know, and actually they're a little reminder for yourself, because you can get really lost, can't you, in your own world. And there's someone there, and I thought, do you know what, I've actually enjoyed that too. So Phil Gilmartin has said he's missed the travel but loved spending more weekends in the garden rather than in airports.
And he was travelling a lot, wasn't he, as well?
He was, yeah. And I love that about, so many people loving being in the garden.
Well, London Gardens Trust said we love being able to share our lectures online. We've been able to welcome people from all over the country as well as abroad. People that usually wouldn't be able to attend our talks at Cowcross Street.
Yeah,
which it makes so much sense. I was attending a talk by Dan Hinckley, the great American plantsman, yesterday, and if this was 2019, I would have to travel to listen to that or be in the right place at the right time. So it's brilliant, really. Yeah. Also, concerts. I went to a Dua Lipa concert the other week.
How
that was pretty cool. Yeah, I know. Like in your lounge, yeah, it's nice.
Did you see, Sophie Ellis-Bextor Kitchen Party?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's just absolutely brilliant. Like, we wouldn't have ever had this kind of insight into people, like celebrities' homes and, their families, and that's been really, really cool. So Sarah has said, not having to commute and chatting to people on the promenade as I live in a small seaside town.
What? She doesn't like chatting to people on the promenade.
So basically...
Oh no, there should be a comma after commute. Right?
Yeah, not having to commute. So basically, there's quite a few introverts out there, and they've been very, very happy to not have to socialise with people or, have to speak to anyone that they don't really want to.
Yeah, we've also got that comment from Jam, the garden man, as an introvert. I love it. I was talking to someone yesterday, and it's like, there's a whole new set of excuses now for why you can't go out, Oh, I'm in the wrong tier or this or that. And it's like, we never had those excuses before. We had to be social.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Is great. So...
I've noticed that there's quite a few people who have actually said not having to commute, more time in the garden. I love this one. Peacock Pete has been attending life drawing sessions and working with models almost all over the world. That's cool. Very cool. I think a lot of people have found new creative hobbies.
Definitely.
Painting or photography or taking up a new course. And to be honest, in the beginning of lockdown, I was rubbish. And everyone was like, I'm going to bake this cake or I'm going to learn a new language.
But there was such a weird pressure, wasn't there?
And I was just like, I can't do anything. I'm just going to sit here and eat biscuits for months on end. And I did practically do that. But eventually pulled myself together, bought a new camera and started learning a bit of photography, so that's pretty cool. And I think there's lots of people that have found that time to do the hobby that they really want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Neil C is also talking about lectures online, so specifically the Q lectures, which I'm going to actually look up and see what that's all about, because previously, for me to travel into London would have been an effort to do that. So if I can, see one of those lectures online, learn a little bit. I did a Christmas kind of chemistry course with Cambridge Botanic Garden yesterday, which I wouldn't have done that last year, and it was quite cool. And it's all on the comfort of your sofa. So
I just hope that we all get up off the sofa and get out there when we can again. We don't just all go, no, we can't really be bothered now.
Yeah, it needs to be a balance between the two, doesn't it? That's
Definitely.
kind of the ideal. Yeah.
So Sarah Gilbert and Robbie Cave have both said time. So time at home when on furlough. So it's that, just being able to claw back a little bit of time in the garden with your family that you've not been able to have before. So there have definitely been positives.
Well, Jules Hayworth has said lots of cat and garden time. They've been propagating plants and sharing with their neighbours those little propagations. And Rachel Fairfield is the same. It's all just so much slower, and I've enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think it's just... sorry, I have to just say, Drew has said Kylie.
Yeah, good one. Because I think she was the first one to do a sort of online concert, wasn't she? And I foolishly didn't book tickets. I wish I had, because something like that, if it's good and well done, then it obviously won't be posted anywhere afterwards, because then you would annoy everyone that bought a ticket. I mean, obviously if you leave it 6 months, then it's okay. But
my question about Kylie is, does she ever age? I can't handle it. She never ages.
No, I think, to be honest, what you see now in public is not the real Kylie. This is now a stunt double.
Yeah. That makes complete sense.
Oh, Ellen.
Anyway, there you go.
Well, at the end of the show, we're actually going to look at resolutions. So that is then looking forward to 2021. But we've got our little interviews coming up soon, haven't we?
We do. So first up is yours, and you're going to be chatting all about looking after the poinsettia.
Yeah, so we're going to throw you straight into that, and hopefully this will inspire you to get your own poinsettia. But remember, wrap it in a blanket when you bring it home. Unless you live in Texas.
So for our special Christmas episode today, I'm talking to James Komish, and he is from J&A Japonicas, and they are specialists in Japanese plants, but they're also specialists in this Mexican plant, the poinsettia, one that you're used to seeing on your dining table at home over Christmas, perhaps on a sideboard, nowhere in the draft though, please. And I'm going to find out more from James today about how to grow the best poinsettias, how they grow poinsettias, and just kind of the story and the history around poinsettias. And we'll also look at a poinsettia and tell you how that's different and how that's got a lot of different benefits as well. So, hey, James, how's it going?
Hi, Mikey. Okay, not bad, thank you.
Super good. So, poinsettias. So you've been growing them for how many years there up in Hornby?
Well, do you know what? This year was our first year growing them.
Yeah. Oh, awesome! But you've done tons of research, I saw as well.
yeah. So we're properly. I thought if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly, and
wow.
We've got plenty of research behind it, so we've got the best start to the first year's crop.
Brilliant. So how many have you grown this year?
We've done 1,600 this year over a broad spectrum of varieties. I pretty much looked through the catalogue and tried to choose every colour that there was in it. So
that's because there's so many colours now, isn't there? It's mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff from marbles to 100 shades of pink and glitter varieties are the new main popular thing, and of course,
and that's natural glitter as well, though, isn't it? So that's good.
That's it. Yeah. It's not. I know. In years past, people have been glittering them with the plastic stuff, which isn't ideal. But no,
you don't need to now. The breeding's there, do you?
That's it. No. The natural ones are even better.
I've actually got a vase of glitter poinsettias on my coffee table at the moment. I was sent a bouquet that included poinsettias, and as a cut flower, they're really a revelation. It's an incredible plant, really, with all these different colours, all the different uses for it as well. But can you help me out by kind of telling me about the history of the poinsettia and how did it become such a well-known Christmas plant? Because it's a tree in the wild, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, there was a guy called Joel Poinsett who was the American ambassador to Mexico, and he first discovered these plants growing over in Mexico, and he thought they were so fabulous that he brought them back to America. But they were still very much, tall varieties, which were mostly grown for cut flower, as you say. Far too big to go into anyone's dining room table or anything like that. But then the likes of the main people which made the poinsettias big was Paul Leckie, and him and his family in America hybridized these poinsettia varieties and made them smaller and smaller, more compact, more showier bracts, and basically originally got them out by sending them for free to television stations to have as a backdrop.
Oh wow, that's clever.
Then, so basically it got the interest of the public, and then it grew from there, basically, which and still, to this day, they've probably been the biggest hybridizers of poinsettias out there.
So were they the ones encouraging them for festive use then, or did that come from somewhere else?
Well, it's naturally, it's a short day crop. So if it naturally finishes, like I didn't black out my crop at all. So it finishes naturally in around December. So naturally it would be flowering around the Christmas time, which is why it's become this, and the original colour being red is pretty much set about it, from what I can gather anyway, becoming the Christmas plant it is now.
Okay, so I guess in your first year of growing poinsettia, you didn't have too many challenges then, if it is kind of following the natural sequence of the blooming. Kind of how was it for you growing this, big batch of poinsettia there?
Yeah, I mean, the tricky part of it is really timing the crop to getting the size right, so you're not ending up with something too tall by the time you start to finish with natural short days. So it's sort of natural short days starts around the end of September, and then around mid-October you'll start to notice the colours changing, and then to a finish around mid-November, something like that. But the challenges were more so early on in the crop, getting the humidities right, getting the branching going well, and keeping down pests, like the main one being Bemisia tabacti, which is the tobacco whitefly, which is the main one, which is you definitely do not want to see on a poinsettia crop. But fortunately, we didn't use virtually no chemical at all on the crop. It was just we were just very lucky with the locations of the greenhouses, and not really encouraging any pesting, and just very keeping on top with monitoring pests all the time.
Yeah, that's good. And once they get into the home, what sort of advice would you have for people that want to grow a poinsettia over the Christmas period? Which room is best? Do they want to be hot, cold, or something in between? And how do you increase that humidity in a warm winter home when everybody's got the central heating on? How does that work?
Well, I mean, as I said before, they are native of Mexico, so they do want to be. I always encourage my customers who are taking them home it wants a bright, sunny windowsill. It doesn't want a cold porch or a cold, unheated conservatory. It does want a bright, warm windowsill.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's sat under the radiator and it likes it quite happily on my windowsill. But they just, and in terms of water, humidity, it doesn't want a lot of humidity now. Once it's in the flowering stage, the humidity wants to be right down, because it can encourage, problems like fungal problems and botrytis, especially on the leaves and bracts. You don't want to get those bracts wet at all.
Do you know what? I've been spraying mine for humidity, and I've just been spraying the whole thing. I've been doing that completely wrong.
Bracts, not so much on the reds, but on the whites, light pinks, you'll probably start to notice that you'll get mottling or brown spotting, especially on the whites if you've missed it in the foliage. Really, just watering the roots will suffice quite happily. But again, it wants to be quite free draining, and it doesn't want to be sat in water. So give it a good drink. But if there's any water left in the saucer, I'd advise tipping it away.
Okay, I've perhaps been too worried about the humidity, but I'm obviously coming from Mexico. It does want to dry out between waterings as well, doesn't it? So
yeah.
Sorry, go.
No, I was going to say, you want to feel the top of the pot compost. If it feels dry, you pick the pot up and it feels particularly light, then it's time to give it a good drink.
Yeah.
And
good practice for any plant, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
And even the moment you buy it in the store, it's very important not to get it cold, isn't it? I've been advising the last few weeks people should, take a blanket, bring it home in a blanket, but that's not such crazy advice, is it?
No, temperature changes. You'll notice, you get problems with leaf drop.
And that doesn't manifest until after, a few days. So if you bought from what you thought was a reputable seller, and then you find that it was by a drafty door when you weren't looking, then you've got a recipe for disaster there, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I always say the supermarket's killed your poinsettia. You haven't. It's normally, if you've been sat on a trolley near a cold door near the vegetable aisle for a few days, then...
Mad. They were outside at the BP garage last week.
Yeah, so so it's going from a grower that's probably been growing at about 17, 18, maybe even 20 degrees. Mm-hmm. Then it's gone to the store where, maybe, if it's cool temperatures, maybe down to 10, maybe even less in some cases. And then you'll bring it back into your home, which again, 17, 18, 20 degrees. That temperature change is going to, shock the plant, and it'll encourage leaf drop and other problems, which will probably leave you with just some very long stems and some bracts on the top of them, but with not much else.
Yeah, everything else has fallen off.
yeah, basically. But, well, I put it down to is it just seems it'll hold its bracts as a last-ditched attempt.
To survive.
That's it. Yeah. So.
And how about? Like, how long do they bloom for? Because I've heard of people that have got them blooming almost all year round. Like, they've obviously got excellent green fingers, but when will they finish blooming, and how do we get them to bloom again next year?
Basically, so blooming it is all depending on how warm you keep them. But the Cyathea, the flowers in the middle of the bract, so the bract is just coloured leaves, which just attracts, because the small flowers in the middle are quite insignificant, and without that bract the pollinators really wouldn't get to it. But once the Cyathea, the flowers in the middle have completely finished flowering, so the warmer you keep it, the quicker they'll go over. After they finish flowering, you'll find that then the bracts will slowly start to fade off. So, I mean, I've had some in colour from years past, still in colour in March, even going on a little bit later, and then they start to deteriorate away. But if you've had a nursery which is, say, black clothed a crop and brought them in slightly earlier for, say, late October sales or early November, you might find that they'll be going off more January, February time.
And then if we do want to get them to reflower, is it worth it, or do you recommend they buy another one?
Basically, what the problem you'd have is, as it goes on, the plant will produce more branches, and what you'll end up with is a lot of very, very small bracts, because there's almost too many flowering stems. So whereas really what a lot of the breeders advise is you don't want to pinch for any more than about 7 or 8 stems when you're pinching the plant out. So you don't get any more than 7 or 8 bracts, because any more than that, you're not going to get nice big size showy bracts. So, but if you, say, trimmed your plant down in March, give it a good feed and kept it going, it would be very bushy and it would be fantastic, but you're going to end up with a lot of small bracts. And again, you've got to go to the extent of putting them in the dark. It needs to be, 100% dark for a minimum of 12 hours a day for 7 or 8 weeks. So it is literally taking that plant, putting it in the airing cupboard and shutting the door and bringing it out again every day. So it's quite a lot of work to get them back into full flower. So
buy another one.
Well, either buy another one because it does support your growers, or take cuttings and take the cuttings off the plant you've already got, and then grow on from there. And then again, when you're pinching that cutting out, only pinch it for about 6 or 7 leaves, which will mean you get 6 or 7 branches.
Okay, and in terms of types then, because you've got the traditional red, we've talked about the glittered, the marble. There's also, have you seen the variety called Mouse, which has got round petals?
Yeah, so that's
awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a Selector 1 variety, which is relatively new, which has been marketed massively this year. And yeah, it's a lovely round edge, quite compact variety. And we've also announced for next year that there's going to be Pink Mouse as well, which is a pink type of the same variety.
That's cool. And the double ones, you've got like double rose ones. I don't know the official names, but the very double ones, amazing.
Yeah, so I think Beacon Camp's variety is like Harlequin Red, which is a really ruffled rose, or the Paul Leckie varieties are always called Winter Rose or Winter Rose White. Again, more of an upright variety, not quite as easily breaking, but does have a really small, like almost like rose ruffled head to them, and they are quite different.
Right. Wow, amazing. And then, of course, from Beacon Camp, we have Poinsettia. Now, that's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Poinsettias, we've done, I think we did virtually most of the colours that they had on offer through Beacon Camp's catalogue this time. And they're more compact, Japanese hybrids, and they're mostly pinks. There's a couple of pure whites. So the purest whites you'll get in a poinsettia. You know, most of your poinsettias are a creamy white. They're not a proper, true white, whereas the poinsettias, as I say, they are a very much a pure white. And the pinks are a very, very proper pink, and there's hot pinks which are very vivid. But they will take it slightly cooler than your normal poinsettia. So they are encouraging that, late autumn you can use them as, in autumn plantings. But they're probably not going to take a particularly harsh frost.
I did the experiment. That's how we got in touch originally, wasn't it, on Twitter? I left my poinsettia outside and it got frosted intentionally just to test if it could take frost, but it can't. But at the same time, during the autumn, I did have a pink one in my mixed containers at the front, and it looked great up until it started to get those frosty moments. So they are perfect for that kind of end of September, kind of through to, say, early November. They're really good for that period. And something that really makes people sit up and take notice, poinsettia outdoors. Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we'd probably, if we were doing them again, we'd do them earlier for that sort of market. So we could
almost with the autumn planting for kind of patio pots and window boxes.
Definitely, because they're not. I mean, admittedly, we did do a red poinsettia, but the more showier ones were the vivid pinks and the whites, which would look fantastic. Because if you think you've got lovely cyclamen and stuff, which are nice pinks, but they're not quite that vivid pink that some of these poinsettias are. So to have something like that, which is almost as vibrant as a summer flower, that would carry on through into the autumn and really give some, patio pots a bit of interest is something quite different. So
I think definitely just don't let them get the frost at that point. It's game over.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, a bit of a sheltered position would be ideal. But I mean, as I say, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. At the end of the day, it is still a hybridized variety.
Yeah, well, we're already getting a lot out of it to use it as an outdoor plant.
That's it. Yeah. But I mean, even say if you've got like a cool porch or a cool conservatory, which is not warm enough for a poinsettia, a poinsettia is what you want to be looking at to put there.
So is in effect, a poinsettia is really a poinsettia that is easier to please, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, we, growing them, we didn't have to use any growth regulator on them. They were naturally compact. We only had to really lightly pinch them because they virtually just branched themselves.
Sorry, I just want to pick up on growth regulator because I think a lot of the general public don't realise that the plants they see in garden centres are not naturally as short as they imagine. And, we use growth regulators in the industry to do that, don't we? So kind of it's always worth reminding people how much goes on behind the scenes, and not everything's what it looks like sometimes.
No. So basically, so from point of pinch, from the point you pinch, the stems will start to grow up, but they'll grow up unevenly. So you'll end up with one or two dominant stems, of which the growth regulating will then take those stems smaller and keep, even everything up. But also, I mean, we only really, really lightly missed because we wanted to grow big, showy poinsettias. But, the sort of stuff that you might see in supermarkets has probably been quite heavily applicated to keep it as short as what it is, because most poinsettias, if you let them grow naturally we planted ours in June, end of June. If we didn't growth regulate at all, some of the poinsettia varieties would be maybe nearly 3 foot high and not looking at the best at all. So to keep them nice and even and a good shape, we just, very lightly give an application, once every 3 or 4 weeks. But the poinsettias, they're that much of a compact variety as they are, and free branching. They didn't even need one application.
Wow, that's brilliant. And if they're easier to grow in the house, that is to be welcomed as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we've covered a lot to do with poinsettias, but I'm always looking at innovations, and using them as cut flowers is obviously something that's a little bit new to me, and it seems to work. But how else could we use them? Can you use them in mixed planters? What would they pair up really well with that needs similar conditions?
I mean, we do some mixed basket planters at the nursery where we use like small indoor yuccas, small ivies, and make a small mixed combination. Admittedly, we've mostly used Poinsettias this time because of a small, even habit. It matches quite nicely, and the sort of the Poinsettias are a little bit more easygoing with how you treat them. If you slightly overwater them a little bit, you don't mind too much, and so when planting in mixed combinations, I'd say your Poinsettia is definitely the one. But I mean, poinsettias, if you get some of the much smaller types in a 10.5 or 1 litre, sometimes planting mixed baskets up look very well. If you can get cut flower, they do last really well. You'll get, I'd say between a week and 10 days out of the cut flower.
I'm on a week already and they look identical to when they arrive.
Yeah, because of how much sap they hold in the stem. They really will hold that, hold that bract. I mean, I've got some which I made into a wreath about 4 or 5 days ago, and the stems are cut only to within 2 or 3 inches of where the main bract is, and they still look pretty much as the flowers look as firm as what they were when I put them in, and they're not in any oasis, they're just their own sap sealed in. So there is good use for cut flower bits if you can get it, because of how expensive a poinsettia is to produce, because of how much heat you've got to put on them and stuff like that, and the growing costs of them. To get a cut flower, they're probably not going to be that cheap, and there's not that many growers going to be doing it either. But if you can get them, they do work really well.
Well, I got mine sent to me free from Stars for Europe, so I was all right.
Happy days. Yeah,
but I don't know what the retail tag was on it. Before we finish off, we were talking about the sap. Is there any concerns with the sap, because it is a type of euphorbia? Do we need to be careful in the home with sap?
Well, there's been quite a few people that have been debunking the myth over poinsettias being poisonous and being dangerous.
Okay.
There are a couple of videos on YouTube where people are, seem to be tucking into poinsettias. There's a guy that eats, a whole bract and a branch.
Really?
And to try and prove that basically that, anything with sap should be viewed with some sort of caution. That some people's skin is more sensitive than others. But on the whole, somebody looked into the toxicity of it, and you'd have to eat a hell of a lot of it to make yourself quite ill.
Okay.
So I'd say maybe to people with sensitive skin, it's probably not a wise idea. Covering yourself in the sap of them, but it's probably
and I guess don't let your cat chew it, but you shouldn't let your cat chew any houseplants anyway.
Well, not ideally, no.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, James. That is really excellent that we've got so much extra information on this wonderful world of poinsettias. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Hi, everyone. So let's talk about Christmas trees. We have to, right? Because it's that time of year and we all love a Christmas tree, don't we? I have to be honest with you. I do prefer the poinsettia and an amaryllis, actually, to a Christmas tree. I'm not a big Christmas fan, but I do really love all the plants that are associated with this time of year, and all of the sparkly lights and all that glitters as well. And to be fair, you can't beat the smell of a fresh Christmas tree, can you? So I'll put my Grinch aside just for this podcast episode and have a little chat with you about Christmas trees, how to decide on the right tree and what to do with it, how to care for it, that kind of thing. And then hopefully your Christmas trees will thrive on over the weeks during the festive period. So, of course, there's loads of Christmas trees you can choose from. You can have a real Christmas tree, you can have an artificial Christmas tree, and there's now plenty of alternatives to that as well. Have you seen the amazing cacti that are covered in lights? That looks so fabulous. Or, of course, you can be really contemporary and really creative as well, and you can collect twigs and branches from the garden, and you can make your own Christmas tree that will hang on the wall, and then you can hang your own baubles from them as well. So there's loads of options to create that wonderful festive feeling in your home. And actually, some of those really gorgeous kind of woodland looking creative projects where you kind of line your wood that you've collected up into the shape of a tree, it gives you that really lovely Scandinavian feeling to Christmas, really just relaxing and really beautiful. So if you don't like a big Christmas tree, then get creative and try something else as well. Of course, there's loads of artificial Christmas trees. I think that they have their benefits. There's so much plastic that is really, really bad for the planet. But hopefully if you do have an artificial Christmas tree, you're going to keep it for a lot of years. It's going to come out every single year. There's loads of different colours. There's the white ones and silver ones, the pre-lit ones, all of that. But you cannot beat that wonderful fragrance and look of that traditional Christmas tree. And there's actually loads of options when you go out to choose a Christmas tree, depending on what country you're in. But especially in the UK, the ones that are pretty widely available are the Norway spruce, the Nordmann fir, and of course the blue spruce as well. And, you can decorate them in any style that you want. Each year you can have different colours, you could colour theme them. I mean, there's just so many options, isn't there, for decorating? And I think that's a really nice time. That's a really nice part of Christmas, actually, decorating the tree. So that's a plus point for me. So, the Nordmann fir, it holds its needles really, really well, and you can decorate it, of course, beautifully. And the blue spruce, of course, is obviously named like that because it has those gorgeous blue needles, and I always think they look fabulous with a plain silver colour scheme. I just think that's really gorgeous. So the traditional kind of Norway spruce is sort of the one with the shape that we all sort of mainly see in adverts and stuff. That gives you that classic look and shape. So you've got plenty to choose from, And when you go to pick up your tree and you're deciding on which one you're going to take home, you want to make sure that it's in really good condition and it doesn't have loads of needles dropping. So you can kind of rub the needles on the tree before you decide which one you're going to pick. And if there's lots of needle drop, you'll know. Actually, sometimes they're a bit bendy as well, so then you'll know too. You want one that isn't dropping needles, otherwise they're going to be all over your floor and your tree is going to be looking a little bit bare. Make sure that you're happy with the shape of the tree. Make sure that you can see that there aren't any kind of brown needles or anything that looks dead or damaged whatsoever. And the other thing it's really important, is just to make sure that there's a good, probably 30 centimetres of the trunk at the base of the tree, because when you get home with your gorgeous tree, you want to be sawing off about an inch off that trunk and then put it straight into some water. So that allows the tree to take up all the water that it needs. And you're going to need to top it up with water regularly as well to keep it in good health. So once you've got that gorgeous tree all ready to decorate and look beautifully festive, you need to really ideally make sure that it's in quite a cool room. So if it's anywhere by a radiator or by a window that's quite warm, the tree can actually drop its needles pretty rapidly. And If not, it's going to need a great deal of water. So keep on top of that every day. But a cooler room is generally best for your beautiful Christmas tree. So someone once told me that a good way to keep your tree hydrated and cool is to also add some ice cubes. And I've never actually had to do that, but apparently if you put ice cubes in the water around the trunk of your tree, that can really help to keep the roots cool, and that will help to prevent all the needles ending up all over your carpet. So there is also a few different kind of ways that you can buy your Christmas tree, and some are container grown, and actually they're really cool because once you've got them forever because they're growing in a container. And some grow really, really well in a container, and once they get bigger you can put them in your garden, plant them actually in the garden, so you've got your Christmas tree for life, which is really lovely. And there's also what are called containerized Christmas trees. So that's actually where the tree has been dug up from where it's been growing all of those many years, and then it's been put into a pot for you to take home. And whilst that's okay, and I'm sure that they will grow okay, remember that their roots have probably been pretty harshly cut off and put in a pot, so it might struggle a little. I haven't ever had one, but it might be worth checking out, because by the end of a few weeks of you having it decorated and looking beautiful, it might not be looking so good. So I don't know really what would happen. I think you could then plant it outside and give it a good mulch and look after it, and hopefully those roots will grow. But generally container grown Christmas trees or freshly harvested Christmas trees tend to work better over the festive season. They live a lot longer. Someone actually had messaged me on Instagram quite recently to talk about how sustainable it is to be purchasing freshly cut Christmas trees. And it seems kind of odd, doesn't it, that we would just cut down all of these trees and have them in our homes. But actually natural kind of Christmas trees that are cut down are always replaced with more trees, and it takes many years for a Christmas tree to grow, so maybe up to 10 years. And you know, during the time that it's growing, it's helping biodiversity, it's contributing to the environment, you know, it's doing all of the amazing things that trees do for the planet. And then generally Christmas tree farmers will sow more seeds than trees that they have actually cut down. So I think it's a relatively sustainable kind of practice for sure, but I really do love the idea of the potted container grown Christmas trees, because I love the fact that you can then put it in your garden if you've got a garden and have like a whole collection of Christmas trees from over the years. And also don't forget that you could keep it growing in its container, but you could put it outside the front of your house every year perhaps and put lights on it, so you've always got a Christmas tree. And I absolutely love that idea. But if you've got a Christmas tree that's been freshly cut and then the festive season is over, I have in the past taken my tree to the local council. They sometimes come to collect it, or you can take it to the tip where they recycle it, so that's really cool. If you can get hold of like a garden shredder, you can chop the tree up, which is a great way as well, because you can put some in the compost bin, or you can use it as some mulch. I've actually kept my Christmas trees from previous years, and I've cut them up and I've used the branches to support like things that I'm growing. I've used the trunk in a bug hotel. I've got a pile of old wood for insects and bugs to enjoy on the allotment, so I kind of pile it all up on there. So there's kind of loads of ways that you can reuse your Christmas tree, and the legacy of your Christmas tree can live on throughout the years. And this year we all need some cheer, don't we? So I think Christmas trees are absolutely the way to go. And do you have a favourite Christmas tree? Because I love seeing all the ones that are out and about, but the big Christmas tree at the Rockefeller Center in New York is kind of usually the one that I always look online to see what it looks like. And this year they they put one up, but it was just a little bit yucky. It wasn't in perfect condition, and I guess that's a sign of the year that we've had, I suppose. But inside the tree they rescued a tiny baby owl. Oh, and the owl has been rescued and all is very well. But if you have a favourite Christmas tree, let us know at the Plant-Based Podcast. We would absolutely love to see some photographs of your Christmas trees, how you've decorated them. Have you seen any out and about that look really like spectacular? You know, let's bring a little bit of festive cheer to everyone. So happy Christmas, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your Christmas plants. And don't forget to top your Christmas tree. What do you top it with? A star or a fairy? Well, now, I loved your interview about poinsettias. That was really, really cool, because people really do genuinely struggle to keep them alive, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you know what? I was talking in the interview about I've got some cut flower ones, and they're looking really cool in a vase, and it's been about a week now. So, yeah, if you kind of want to use them as cut flowers, you can do that too. So you could always go along to the supermarket and just, you know, take a pair of scissors, just cut all the heads off the ones in the shop, you know, just bring them home.
Well, that would be very naughty, but I wouldn't put it past you, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I do promote a lot of criminal activity on this podcast. I'm so sorry.
I'm surprised that we haven't been taken off iTunes. I done a posy demo for Handmade Festival a few weeks ago, and I'd gone to this gorgeous florist here in Charlotte, and I bought this massive big white hydrangea stem and a huge great big flower head on it, and that was going to be like the middle of my posy, and I put it into a bucket of water, and the next morning, the morning of the demo, it had completely wilted because it was just too warm in here, and I just thought, what am I going to do?
Maybe you haven't bashed the stem to open up.
I think it was a combination of all of that, but it completely wilted, and I just thought, what am I going to do? You know, I have to do this posy in like half an hour. And sitting on the worktop was a great big white poinsettia.
Oh, no way! And that's the one you used?
That's the one I used.
Seeing poinsettia in your bouquet.
Yeah, so literally just before I started the demo, I cut off a stem. It has that kind of white sap in it, doesn't it? Cut off a stem and used that in the posy. But it looks super cool. It's what brought a bit of Christmas to the posy. So yeah, there you go. Posy, poinsettia cut flowers. Anyway, we've got a little bit of Christmas tree chat coming up, and also we're going to have a little talk about the cheeky mistletoe, and also New Year's resolutions as well. I can't wait to hear what yours are, I've got to say.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so we've had your little Christmas tree tips there, but I want to ask you, do you have a Christmas tree up now?
No.
Oh,
controversial.
Because even I have.
Controversial. There's a few reasons why, actually. I do have a Christmas tree every year, so as much as I say I'm a Grinch, my husband loves Christmas, and I wouldn't be mean enough to not have a tree.
I didn't know that.
He loves Christmas. Like, he gets really excited about it, yeah. He's got his Christmas jumper on today. So I always do have a tree, and I decorate it, and I usually make quite a lot of natural Christmas decorations. I just really quite enjoy that process, so I like all the sparkles and everything. But this year we're going away. We're going on a long road trip to my sister's in Texas, and we decided that because the place was going to be left empty for ages, and also Christmas has just crept up on us so fast that we weren't going to have a tree. So I've used loads of fairy lights around the apartment, so it looks really Christmassy. I've made some natural decorations, you know, so it looks Christmassy, but we just don't have a tree this year.
Ooh, well, I've got one on my doorstep, so I'm winning.
To be honest, I was surprised.
And it's got cute lights.
Yeah, when you posted that, I was like, wow, you've done Christmas this year. What's going on?
Well, remember, it was only a leftover from one of the live TV shows. So.
If someone had given me a Christmas tree, I totally would have decorated it. But I can't be bothered to go out and buy one.
But you know what? The nicest, right, this is going to sound weird, but the nicest memories of Christmas trees are the ones from your childhood, which are, I think, the Norway spruce, which has got the smaller needles.
Yeah.
which is actually the one that drops the most.
Yeah.
But ever since they kind of introduced the Nordmann fur, which doesn't drop as much,
that's right, yeah.
It's just not the same. I want the one where the needles are in my socks all day. You know, you just want that kind of essence, don't you?
You're so weird.
But it's nice. That's what Christmas is about for me. Needles in socks, you know? That sort of stuff.
As long as they're not in your pants.
Oh dear. We've actually got one Christmas tree confession here on Twitter, which is from Tom Jameson, also known as Ghostly Tom on Twitter. He bought a rooted tree and kept it alive in the garden all year long. It grew a little bit, but he brought it indoors the following Christmas. He decorated it. It looked beautiful. He went to bed, and then the next day, the house was full of creatures that had been obviously hibernating on the tree. So, oh God, can you imagine? Because bringing in a plant from outdoors, it could have, snails around it. It could have,
It could have birds.
Oh, snails running up your walls.
Oh, that's not nice. And lots of little bugs as well. That's what I was saying when I was talking about Christmas trees in just a moment ago. That I always look online at the Rockefeller Christmas tree, and this year they found that owl in the tree. So I guess it goes without saying, if you bring a Christmas tree indoors that you've had outside, you're gonna get some bugs.
Yeah, definitely.
Be careful, because your houseplants might get eaten.
So 2020, we're putting that to bed.
Yeah.
But 2021, I can't wait. I've said many times, this time of the year just bottlenecks, and it's just let me get to the new year and everything that brings. And so do you have any resolutions? Are resolutions just a big pile of doo-doo, or are they useful?
Oh gosh.
Oh, you're Scrooge about everything, actually.
Yeah, sorry.
You're all-year Scrooge.
No, I think that lots of people use New Year's resolutions as, the start of something new, and that's great. So it's kind of like a mental state, isn't it, to get into, right? Okay, it's the first of the new year, I'm gonna do da-da-da. But personally, I truly believe that you can make a new resolution every day of the year. Like, every day is a new day.
Exactly.
I think that you should never wait to have a New Year's resolution, because you're living now in the moment, in the present. So
I'm with you, sister.
You should kind of do it now. That's how I think about it.
400%.
Oh, well, thank you. We've agreed.
No, I feel exactly the same. I think it's just silly to put it on that one day of the year, and you should be able to change and evolve any point of the year. As is well documented, I enjoy change, Ellen Mary.
You do, but change is, it should be welcome. It's how you kind of learn. It's how you can evolve. But change,
it's how you develop. It's
change
scary,
can be hard
for
some people. So, I do understand why the 1st of January is important. But they do say something like, I'm going to pull this stat out of the air now, but it's something like 80% of New Year's resolutions don't make it past the end of January anyway. Because there's so much expectation when you make a New Year's resolution that you have to do it. And actually, if you just start to make changes in your life daily towards the goals and things that you want to do, then that's a much easier way to, walk into a new change. So I'm not a New Year's resolution.
Could be for me. Sorry,
say that again.
The postman's here, and it could be for me.
Is it?
It's very likely.
Is it the burglar?
No, not yet. That'd be after dark.
Anyway, we have the listeners' New Year's resolutions, don't we?
Yes, we do. So
what have we got?
I'm going to kick off with Maple Mouth on Twitter. I will be moving out of my house and into a condo, so I've decided that it will be a place with lots of hanging plants and lots of perennials on the patio outside. But I've got to answer the door as the postman. I'm sorry, Ellen. You carry on.
Okay, don't worry. We're just in the middle of a podcast, but Michael has gone to open the door to pick up his packages, which are probably supplier freebies. Unless he actually has some friends who sent him some presents. We'll see when he comes back. So on Twitter, Melanie Hollins has said her New Year's resolution is to do something about all the shrubs that have outgrown my borders, either to prune back or get rid and time for change. See, I like that. That's a really good resolution to have a good look outside in the garden and just think, right, what can I do? What changes can I make? What needs to be cut back? Before I came away to North Carolina, I actually just took photographs of my allotment. So while I'm here, I can look at all the photographs and decide what I need to cut back and what needs to be done. So I think that's a really good gardening New Year's resolution. Thanks for that, Melanie.
I'm back. I'm back.
Did you get a present, or did you?
Yeah, actually, let me open it live here.
If it's a Christmas present, you're not meant to open it yet.
Well, how do I know?
Oh, how amazing!
Packaging.
How amazing would it be if it's the present that I've sent you?
Really? It could be, but I didn't know we were doing presents.
I haven't sent you a present.
Oh, what is that?
What's this?
Oh.
Let me see.
I was like, that's not my name. It says Mikey James.
Ah.
But do you know what this is, Ellen?
What is it? It's a T-shirt.
This is a piece of Christmas gift merchandise from Mikey James, and you know who he is. We used his song for our theme tune.
Oh, that's really cool. I haven't
so that
received.
Ties in nicely.
I haven't received mine.
Oh, well, do you want a T-shirt that says Mikey on it?
Don't worry about me.
Next one.
What's next?
Oh, is this from you?
I haven't sent you
no, it's
anything.
It's a bag of peanuts.
That's so cute.
Oh, okay. Right, nothing interesting to report there then.
But basically what I just said is completely true. You've just had supply gifts.
Huh? Yeah. Right, what did you read out?
I read Melanie Hollins about cutting back her shrubs.
Cool. Paul Stanton. Oh, went a bit serious. Don't listen to the news. Don't trust the government. Surround yourself with positive people. Don't worry, be happy. But on a slightly different note, Grassroots Veg said definitely going to clean my greenhouse this year.
Don't worry, be happy.
And what? Have you seen this one from Polly? Just found her daffodils and fritillary bulbs to plant. She stuck them in a big pot. My New Year's resolution is that when I buy bulbs, to store them all in one place.
You can easily forget where your bulbs have gone. Easy bake coven, as in oven,
yeah.
Coven, yeah, easy bake coven. That will be it. I will be moving out of my house and into a condo, so I've decided that it will be a place with lots of hanging plants inside.
I read this one out already.
Oh, when?
At the beginning.
Really?
Willie.
Really? How did I even miss that? Hey.
Because you don't listen to me.
I obviously wasn't listening. Hang on a minute. Lots of perennials around my patio outside. I want more greenery where I live. Well,
they still need to carry on.
No, because if I didn't respond to that, I'm really sorry there, Maple Mouth. Oh, yeah, I recognise that now.
It's difficult because on Twitter, actually, there's different, like, the screen name is totally different to the other name, which is sometimes a bit weird. Like, because Polly, for example, she mutes all fleets.
Oh, yeah.
It says on her.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, I love that. I agree. I've moved into an apartment and there's lots of house plants, and on the balcony there's lots of plants as well. So it's really good to green up your space no matter where you are. Very good. What's your New Year's resolution though, Michael?
Oh, but...
Come on, I know we're not really doing them, but if you had to do them, what would you do? You know, if it was like the law.
I don't know, because I love change, but I also don't believe in restricting myself. So, yeah, just to continue being great. No, just to continue to have a good work ethic, I think. I think a lot that gets you through is kind of being reliable, doing what you say you'll do, being creative, kind of just keeping up that really career-wise, which I'm quite proud to have built. And this, it feels nice. So, just to continue being a big ball of efficiency.
Oh, check you out.
Sorry, was that a bit square? Am I supposed to say give up smoking or something?
The first thing you said was to continue being great.
Yeah, oh God, that sounds a bit weird, actually. Okay, all right, well, I give up chocolate.
No, you're not going to give up chocolate. There's no need to give up chocolate.
Oh, ding dong.
I do really love, by the way, we're going to just have a little quick chat about mistletoe now. You have, and I know this is actually, I'm plugging your T-shirts now, but I love your new T-shirt with the mistletoe at the bottom of the T-shirt. I honestly think that is ace.
Oh, explicit content. But yeah, just having a laugh, really, Ellen, you know?
Yeah. Having a laugh and being
But yeah,
great.
It's been fairly popular. So yeah,
it is really, it's just really good fun. And actually, had I thought about that, I would have got that for my husband, but I kind of forgot. But yeah, I like it a lot. That's really good fun.
Cool, thank you very much.
Have you ever had a smooch under the mistletoe? Have you ever had a smooch?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if I've really ever used it as a prop necessarily. I don't know. I prefer mistletoe as a vase plant anyway.
Yeah, that's quite cool. It looks nice.
I know.
Christmassy.
I feel very highbrow when I do that.
Do you?
Because no, but to be honest, like if you think about it, mistletoe when you hang it, it's already drying out, and so if you really want fresh mistletoe, then like put it in a really nice vase, and then if you do need to, you know, urgently kiss someone, just remove one sprig from the vase at a time.
Because you wouldn't kiss them anyway. That's what I don't get. You're only going to kiss who you're going to kiss anyway. So why have mistletoe?
Not necessarily.
What? Why? But
oh, you're so square.
If there was like when you see on the adverts, there's a bit of mistletoe hanging up over the like coffee counter in the shop, and then like two people look at each other who they've never met, and then they fall in love in that moment, and they smooch under the mistletoe. That never happens in real life.
That does, but probably in London.
What, people just go to the counter, see a bit of mistletoe, and have a snog? No way.
No, I think probably where mistletoe is most useful is all those dangerous office parties at Christmas.
All those office parties via Zoom this year.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I don't remember ever kissing anyone under the mistletoe, but if anyone's listening and they have kissed me under the mistletoe, do let me know. I'd love to remember it. And it was probably on a drunken night if that has ever happened.
Oh no. Yeah, so what do we do? Because this is we might not have any more episodes until the next series, which starts in May. Unless we drop a few.
Doesn't
not May.
Start
March.
in May. It starts at the beginning of March.
Yeah, my brain wanted to say March, but somehow my mouth did something different. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's time for you to give a few thank yous, Ellen.
Oh, you've just put me right on
delegated.
the spot. You are absolutely right, though. End of the year, we should do, first of all, and mostly, we must give massive thank you to everyone who listens to the podcast and joins in online, because we do literally love you all. We have some amazing fans out there who interact with us and have been on the show and join in the lives and just everything. So that is absolutely epic. Our wonderful, this is like an Oscar speech, our wonderful editor, Gareth, who is so calm and so cool, and he gets everything done, and we send him loads of like stuff and instructions, and all of a sudden this great podcast comes back put together. So thank you so much, Gareth, for your ace. And so we're like Team PBP is also includes Jen, and Jen, by the way, is not only excellent at sorting stuff out for us in the background, but also her Instagram is epic. She is one hot babe. Seriously.
Really nice.
She is ace.
I'll tell her. Oh, well, she'll hear it herself.
She will. And also I'd like to thank my mum.
And also I'd like to thank Mikey James for our theme music, which we changed I think somewhere in the middle of the last series, because I just heard it one day and just knew it had to be our theme music. I think I lobbied you on that, didn't I, Ellen?
You did, yeah.
We must change it. It's lovely. It's lovely. And the song is called Grow, so it kind of fits in.
Yeah.
But he has also got a song called Advocado, which I use for one of my kind of online content things. So I might be trying to get you to change it to that soon. Oh, can I just tell you something, actually? I got a new car, and the registration looks like avocado, so I literally called this car Avocado.
Really?
And it's all set up. You know when you like set up the computers and the kind of, I don't know, the apps that go with it. It's like when I'm at the car dealership, he's kind of like, what name do you want to put in? I'm like, well, avocado.
Did he look at you kind of a bit shocked?
I think so. I think he didn't have the vision to see that this number plate was like avocado. Oh my God. And also, last week, I haven't told you, I discovered that during a voiceover that there are 4 words that I cannot pronounce.
Okay.
One of those is advocado. I always say advocado.
Advocado.
Also, infatuation. I say infatuation. And I really could not get my head around competitive. It was just, oh my God. And there was a 4th one that I've forgotten now. But yeah, it's just mad.
Michael.
Because I've been a fool, you know? I've been saying these things wrong for years.
Your whole life you've been a fool.
Yeah. Tragic.
Very good. Well, anyway, Michael.
Yeah?
Don't be too shocked. I'd like to thank you.
Oh, thank you. What for?
I don't know, but I feel like I should
being
say
a ball
that.
of efficiency.
Yeah, for being the big ball of efficiency that bounces around
But
me.
you know, it's so funny, Ellen, because let's do a drippy bit where we thank each other.
Oh, I wasn't going to go that far.
Let's get Gareth to put some violins in. But yeah, we just work so well together, and where one of us doesn't do something, the other one picks it up easily, or when one doesn't get something, the other one does, and just, I don't know, it just works so well, and we seem to be in good kind of synchro. Is that the right word?
If we were dancers, we'd be synchronized swimmers. That's what we'd be.
It's cool, and we kind of balance, and we're quite reactive, and we almost know which move each other's going to make next. Yeah.
Like right now, I know that your right hand is probably down your trousers.
No, it's not. In the words of the Busta Rhymes song, my hands are where your eyes can see. Hip hop reference.
Anyway, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Thank you.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Happy Christmas. Have a good Christmas as best you can. And we'll be seeing you for our next series. Cannot believe that it will be series 4 coming up early March.
Defo. So have a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year.
And Michael's actually eating his microphone. So all that weird noise was Michael putting his microphone in his mouth.
I'm so sorry. So, all right, I'll do my line again. So happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. Order! Yeah?
Yeah, recording.
I love how you're desperately trying not to say anything.
It's because you say not to say something really silly.
Okay, cool. Right, we're ready then.
We are ready. Are you going to intro?
Yeah, remember there'll be a jingle. We should do the awkward intro like when French and Saunders did the Bananarama song. Do you not know? Oh, maybe you're too young. I hope Gareth leaves that bit in. That's quite funny. Okay, right, let's go. Why don't you do the intro?
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Is there a Grinch song? Because I'd sing that if there was.
Yeah, that's the best intro to a Christmas episode, Ellen. Actually, let's make this outtakes.
The outtakes at the beginning.
Yeah, we should actually. Yeah, I'm going to message Gareth right now.
Message our editor and say, can we have some outtakes, please? To be honest, most of our outtakes would involve you and expletives, probably.
Whatever. Right, okay, right. Let's seriously start. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. You should now be at least 25% more obsessed by plants.
Please follow us on social media. You'll find us by typing in the Plant-Based Podcast.
We also have a fabulous website. Go to theplantbasedpodcast.net.
So tell your friends, leave a review. Why not write a letter to your local MP? Please spread the word about the Plant-Based Podcast.
Oh yes, see you next time, plant friends.
theme music for the Plant-Based Podcast is an excerpt from the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editing is done by Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.